Good morning, everyone. So today's class we are going to discuss about these three things. That is XML. What is XML all about? Next, we will be seeing about document type definition, which is part of XML. So this topic is already discussed in the previous chapters. So we are now discussing it more briefly, more in depth. We are trying to discuss it. Next comes XML Parser. First, we will see what is XML, what does it deal with, how it is different from other markup languages. So let us start these things. Okay. So first of all, what is XML talks about? What is XML talks about? So XML, what does it contain? As the name suggests, it is a markup language, okay, which is extensible in nature. Which is extensible. Okay. And one more thing, it has been introduced in 1998. Sorry, 1998, but its first version, that is 1.0, has been released in 2000. So it has been started its work in 1998 and it has been released in the year 2000. Okay. So what does it do? So as we know, HTML is one sort of a markup language where it is trying to design the web pages by following certain rules and regulations, by following certain syntax, certain predefined tags which are available in XML. But coming to the XML, it is a technique. It is a technique to organize the things, to organize whatever information, okay? Organize information in a specific way. Organizing information in a specific way. That is what the XML deals with. So XML, does it follow any rules and regulations or predefined tags are available in XML or not? So all these questions will rise. So HTML, as part of HTML, we have so many predefined tags. Okay, it is a predefined tags available, but whereas XML, we don't have any predefined. Okay, not available. So how to write these codes down? See, as we know, HTML has some tags like HTML, some title, header. Some sort of tags are available as part of HTML, but what about XML? XML does not have any predefined tags, so how to write programs? So, according to XML, any tag which is used as part of markup language, okay, any tag which is used as part of markup language which is extensible, that is as part of XML, they are user-defined tags. User-defined tags are available. Okay. There are no predefined tags are available, but they have user-defined tags available, which has a special meaning. special meaning for them, which are not similar to the other tags which are used in HTML. So one more important feature of XML is the presentation. Whatever the information which is presented is part of, it is not at all part of XML. So when you compare with the HTML, see the code itself contains data processing as well as data presentation logic also. So what do you mean by this? In HTML, data processing as well as data presentations will be included in one file itself. So what happens? HTML will be having some more burden. So HTML has some load on it, the HTML processor or executing engine, which is part of the browser. So it has load on it because it has both data processing nature as well as presentation logic. Both are in the same file. So it is hard to do that. So the alternate solution is XML. So what does it do? It will not, it will be representing the data processing separately as well as presentation separately. So presentation as part of the users. So the user wants data to be represented in a different way. So users, according to user, the presentation will be different. So this is what the main feature lies with XML. So let us see some of the roles which are played by the XML. What are the different roles in markup language that have been played by roles of XML? So let us see what are the different roles. See, XML is being used by different programming languages for the purpose of validation techniques. Try to understand this. In any programming language, let us say that if you are using J2W regarding Java or .NET, both are using these XML versions, different XML versions. So they are using XML for specific purpose. That is nothing but validating the data. Okay, validating purpose. Validating is nothing but checking whether the inputs are correct or not. So XML is being used by different programming languages. So let us see in different. And one more thing, XML is totally text-based language. So due to the text-based nature, it is powerful and simple to design. Why we are saying it is powerful? Because all firewalls, the text-based data can be easily passed through different types of firewalls without any type of execution. exe files or any executable files will not be transferred along this XML. So text-based, being a text-based, the XML is more powerful and simple in nature. So what are the roles which are played by XML? Let me show you. That is, it is used for structured data representation. Okay. Second role is separating. As I told you, data will be separated to from presentation or user presentation. Separating data from user interface. Next comes, it is a standard. Okay, XML is being, so it is treated as a standard for transfer of data. Next one, it is following some rule. What is that? We will see rule based data representation. Next comes important thing, platform independency. So what do you mean by platform independency? So that it can be executed, XML can be executed anywhere with any type of operating system also. And it also makes the data to be customized. Customized display of data. Okay. So this is what the XML is being participating with all of the other programming languages. So among this, the rule-based representation is much more important for us. Okay, that is we are going to discuss now. Among these roles, we are going to discuss about rule-based data representation mostly. Okay. So what is that rule-based? See, already we have covered some of the topics regarding this. Rule-based representation. What is that? Rule-based data representation. So under this, as we know, some of the programming languages are there. They are following certain rules. According to those rules, the language has been defining so many things. Now coming to the XML language, that is markup language. It is also associated with some certain rules based on the presentations. So according to HTML, we are deciding the format of data which is going to be displayed. Okay. Format of data is more important as part of HTML. Similarly, here in XML, see, as we are discussing any topic, we are comparing with the HTML compulsory because XML is an alternate solution for the HTML. So format of data which is displayed. See, the data is being transformed in various ways by applying different types of styles into it, by adding different types of scripts into it. So we are displaying the data in different ways. Now coming to the XML, we should show the presentation data should be in a particular format, and it should be preserved. Okay, format of data should be preserved until the completion of the program. Until, sorry, until execution of the program. Okay, until the execution of the program. So, who will decide this format? Okay. Let us take one example. So, according to this example, if I want to represent any employee data, to represent or to present the data of an employee. So, what are the things that can be possible as part of employee data? So, employee should have an ID along with the name, along with the department, along with salary. Okay, these are the possible fields. These are the common fields which are applied on employee. So, how these data will be shown? Okay, how this data will be represented, and how they will look like, how this data will be formatted so that it can easily be understood by the users. So it uses one of the things like DTDs. Okay, by using DTD. So DTD is nothing but document type definition. Document type definition. So using this DTD, we are supposed to define the structure of this or the format of the data. So what will be there as part of DTDs? DTDs will follow different types of methods for representing the data. There are different methods are there. Okay. Let me show you such methods. What are they? How they can be looking like. Before we proceed further, DTD is one kind of a representation of the data. Okay? DTD is nothing but the data which is going to be represented in a particular format. Okay? So not only representing or formatting data, representing the format of the data is nothing but validating the data. Let us say that if one person requests, if any user requests a particular data that should be in a particular order. So what they will do, it will take the user input, and based on the user input, the format will be decided, and according to that, the user will view only those contents which they require in a particular format only. So what we are trying to do, we are taking the input and validating it and displaying the contents according to the users. So this is how a DTD will also be performing. So it is one kind of a validating method also. DTD is nothing but one of the validating methods. Okay, DTD is also one of the validating method, or it is one of the XML validation technique. So coming to this, what are the methods which are used as part of DTDs? So DTD is nothing but, as I told you, document type definition. Try to understand the meaning of this. That is, we are defining how the data should be looking like. That will be part of a document. Okay. So, DTDs can be viewed in two ways. Okay. DTDs can be applied in two ways in XML file or sorry on XML file. So the two ways are, first one is internal DTD, second one is external DTD. So DTD is one of the validation technique which is used by the XML and this XML on XML file. So there are two ways of applying or defining DTDs. They are internal DTD and external DTD. Internal DTD and external DTD. So according to internal DTD, we will see what will be there in the internal DTD. So this is our internal DTD. Now coming to this. So what happens here is, as I told you, DTD is to represent data in particular format. Or we also saying that it is one of the validation technique. So it represents data in particular format. So according to the internal DTD, the format of data, it will be format of data will be sorry. Format of data will be part of XML file itself. What do you mean by this? So whatever format which is decided by the internal DTD, that will be part of the XML file itself. So it is not any separate file. Okay. So the format will be part of the XML file. So how they look like, I will show you. So this is a file that is used here, XML version followed by 1.0. Encoding which is used here is universal UTF-8. So this should be the first line. And coming to this one, DTD, DOCT dot type equals to, sorry, so dot type is discussing about one example, that is players, and a square bracket will be there along with that. Next one is elements of this document should be name of the player followed by the type of data which is inserted. The PC data followed by angular bracket, and coming to the next element, that is age. Again, we have to write this PC data. What is this? So I'm taking two elements only, that is player will have a name and age, and how to close this square bracket and angular bracket. So this is part of the XML file. So it is continued along with this. It will continue with some code. Okay. So what is this? There will be layer, angular bracket followed by name, followed by name, let us say name, and followed by age. Age 30, let us say what? Closing. So close player. So what is happening here? You observe here how the data will be based. So we are deciding this is DTD. This is how the format should be looking like. Okay, to the end users. What happening? The representation is different as it is, and it is being part of the XML file itself. Now coming to the external duty. So what is this? According to this external duty, whatever defined internally, that will be part of one file. Okay. Okay, that file name will be some file name.dt. Okay, file name.dt. So this file has to be included into your program. So let us write that example code. That is, as I wrote here, XML version 1.0 followed by encoding equals to UTF-8. Okay. Now the second line will be AOC type. What is that? Layer. And we have SYSTEM for external files. That is, the file name will be player.dtd. Okay. Now the actual code will begin. Something like player name So this is how the code will look like. So how this data will be represented. So represented based on this player.dtd. So player.dtd will contain how this data will look like. So this is about internal and external DTDs. What is this system is used for? So it is used for making the DTDs private in nature. Okay, they are not public in nature, they are private in nature. Okay. Now coming to the next topic. Let me share one more thing. Okay, 1 second. So next one is parsers. So the third one. Okay. Next third one, as we are discussing, that is if second one is DTD, the third one is XML parsers. So what are these used for? So XML parsers are nothing but breaking down the XML document and displaying the contents of the XML document based on the user's view. So users wants the data should be defined in a particular way. So XML parsing is the process of breaking the XML document into components so that they can be easily handled by or easily handled or programmed. So if you write any program, let us say that if you are writing a Java J2EE program, so let us say that this is our XML file. So what we are writing, there will be some code will be written. So the code will access some part of the XML file. Okay, not all the details of the file. It needs only, it will write code. The Java will write code in such a way that it will take part of the XML file as its output or input. So according to the program, the XML file will be processed. So this is what parsing means. Now there are two methods of which are used inside parsing. So parsing method. So how this document will be divided? They will be divided into two things or two types. They are DOM and SAS parsers. So dividing the XML document according to DOM parsers will make it as a tree-like structure. Okay, it will use tree-like structure. So this is whole XML document for us. So parsing, if I use DOM parsing on XML file, so what will be there? It will be displaying the file details in a tree-like structures. Okay. Next, the word parsers from the compiler, and the compiler is a model that reads the and interprets the programming language. What is this? It is that. Yeah. So XML parser is a software component that can be sits between the application and the XML file. Okay, this is how the architecture of. So what does it mean? A parser is a software or a component that will be sitting between the application and the XML file. So it reads the text formatted file, parser or stream, and converts it into a document and to be manipulated by the application. Here application can be any type of an application based on Java or .NET. So next one is the document should be well formed document based on the syntactic rules. So when we say that a document is well formed document, if it follows syntax or syntactical rules, then only we can say it is a well-formed document, and it is valid documents only respect the syntax rules but also confirm that the structure as described in DTD. So what do you mean by this? When we say that a document is valid document, if it also confirms that according to syntax and also the structure, syntax and structure will be followed, then only the structure, how the structure will be defined by using DTDs. So we can say the document is valid document if it follows syntactical rules and also the structure which is defined by the DTDs. So here, coming to the types of parsers which are available here for us. Let me share you. So XML parsers will be validating parsers and non-validating parsers are there. Okay. So coming to the non-validating parsers. So according to this parser does not, okay, this parsers does not follow the structure, okay. It is structure is not given an importance as part of non-validating parsers. It will be considering or it will be concentrating on only the syntax which is followed. Syntax will be followed and structure will not be followed. Okay. As I told you, if any document is a valid document, it has to follow both syntax as well as structure. So non-validating parsers will follow only the syntax but does not follow the structure. Now coming to the validating parsers, it will what they will have, they will follow, okay, they will follow everything. They may be the syntax or the structure itself also. Okay. So this is about XML. Okay. This is about XML. XML which will use DTDs. Okay. And XML using parsers. So DTDs are internal and external. Okay. Now coming to the parsers, they are validating, sorry, and non-validating parsers. So there are two types of parsers, that is validating and non-validating parsers. So what are the methods which are used in parsing is DOM and SAX. Okay, DOM and SAX. These are the two parsing methods which are used to make it as a validating or non-validating parsers. Okay, this is all for today. Thank you one and all.